It looks like the state of West Virginia needs to get tougher on these opioid drug abusers, just like the government did with the crack epidemic. There wasn't, any pleas for counseling sessions and ways to figure out why these crackheads are doing what they're doing. No, it was straight lock them up. So it shouldn't be no different for these opioid, pill-popping, insecure, hillbilly rednecks from West Virginia. It's just funny how, these white folks want you to have compassion for them. But they spent the past, 20 to 30 years using the crack epidemic to tarnish the image of black Americans, to tarnish the image of the black family. But now they're dealing with this opioid epidemic. They want you and the public to show remorse and to have understanding. No, fuck that. Lock these motherfuckers up. We got space in these fucking private prisons that the states fucking allow to come in. Lock these crackers up, abusing drugs. If you're gonna be locking, if you're gonna lock black folks up for that crack shit back in the 80s and 90s, treat these white folks the same way. No sympathy. Fucking around with opioids and what's the other shit called? Fentanyl or some shit. I don't know. I'll remember later on. Let's hop into this article. Fentanyl, that's what these fuckers be doing. Seriously, man, they want you to have sympathy and remorse for these folks when they were fucking using the crack cocaine epidemic in the 90s. White folks in the media, they were using that shit as a way to tarnish the entire image of black Americans worldwide. And these white folks know exactly what they were doing. But here we are in 2019. Their kids are overdosing on the pill-popping opioids and heroin. Now they want the rest of the non-white public to feel sympathy for them. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. This is what you get, man, for fucking shitting on black folks. Because before I was even born, man, they had these propaganda campaigns where they would use the drug problems black folks had as a way to fucking demonize the black folks' image. Well, here's the opportunity for black folks to put the white people's problems front stage. You cannot be feeling sympathy for folks who don't feel sympathy for you. They don't even see your humanity. They don't even see your humanity. That's why they spent all these fucking decades demonizing the black image. Now, you should have sympathy on them? No. Every time you see a story like this, put it on front page. Because they would do the exact same thing to you as a black person. They don't give a fuck. Where was I at? All right, let me see. WVPBS continuing coverage of the opioid crisis affecting West Virginia. Deaths related to opioid abuse have more than doubled in the past decade as millions of prescriptions flooded in the state. Treatment programs have been overwhelmed as families struggle to cope with the fallout of addiction. So the fuck what? You had black families going through the same shit from what I was told back in the 80s and 90s when they were going through that crack addiction. And what did the fucking media do? What did white America do? You fucking put that shit on front page and you showed the fucking world and you fucking used the crack era epidemic to tarnish black Americans. So fuck that. Any chance I get and I see some shit like this, I'm going to report it. These are the stories of West Virginians impacted by the opioid epidemic and the struggle to combat the crisis. All right. That's all? Come on. Let me see. On this West Virginia morning, a federal district judge last week ordered the release of government database that tracks the shipments of every single prescription pain pill manufactured in the U.S. You see what they do? They're taking fucking legal action to get to the bottom of this shit for the opioids. They're taking legal action. See how they take this shit and they look for the solution instead of fucking, making it seem as if it's out of their control and they can't do nothing about it. All of a sudden, they're so gung-ho about a solution for their addiction problem. But when it was black Americans dealing with that crack addiction problem, oh, nah, let's just lock these guys up. Let's lock them up. Mandatory minimums. And that's what I say about these toothless, pill-popping, insecure, neo-Nazi, alt-right West Virginia pussies. Lock you fucking opioid motherfucker, Machiavelli. Lock you motherfuckers up. No mercy. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. This is what you crackers were saying about black folks. Lock them up. They were selling crack. Lock them up. They were using crack. Lock them up. All right. Same thing for you fuckers. No mercy. No mercy. Where was I at? District Judge Week ordered the release. All right, yeah, they got a district judge to look into this shit. And man, look, they're bringing fucking opioids from Afghanistan. The pharmaceutical companies are hooked up with the fucking military over there, man. Never mind. The bottom line is this. Those poppy fields, all that shit that's going on over there, we've been over there for a reason. Okay, they're going to corner the market with the opioids. And they're bringing them back here. They're giving the opioids they get from Afghanistan. They give it to these pharmaceuticals, and hey, the rest is history. Well, you know what goes on after that shit. They give them to the American public. But shit, if you dumb enough to take that shit, well, it's usually for like big accidents when you break a bone in your body and the pain is just so great that they'll give you this kind of prescription, like opioids or fentanyl or some shit like that. Fentanyl. For the pain, because the pain is just so bad, like, it's used to, like, stabilize you. But that shit be fucking motherfuckers up. This fucking, that prescription. And then when the doctor stopped giving them prescription of the pills, because these are pill poppers, fuckers, okay? Pill poppers, yeah. When the doctor stopped giving them prescriptions, they go buy heroin, okay? You're supposed to feel sorry for these guys. Keep in mind, they were making fun of your fucking grandparents or your parents who were on crack. If your parents were on that shit, they were making fun of your cousins, they were making fun of them. All right, back in the 80s and 90s. I was what, 3 years old. 90s, in the 90s, hearing and seeing the media making shit like this, making television commentaries about this shit. There's no remorse for the black folks on that shit, but they want you to have remorse. Now look, I don't respect crackheads. I don't. I really don't. But I'm the kind of guy, I'm like this. Anytime the media is looking to tarnish the image of black men, they will not stop. They will put it front page. And that's where black men have lost the war as far as propaganda. Propaganda war. Because the media uses that. The media uses that sector of television, or they use their power of television to control the image and control public perception. So if you come across some shit in which shines light on something that you think should be looked at, go for it. Put it out there. Especially if it's going to fucking counter anything negative that the media has put out about black folks, in particular black men. Let me move forward. Where was I at? In an analysis of that data, reporters at the Charleston Gazette Mail and the Washington Post found between 2006 and 2012, 76 billion acodine and hydrocodone pills were shipped to pharmacists across the country. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking pills. 3 reporters at the Washington Post were responsible for the analysis that shows just how concentrated the epidemic was in Appalachian communities, including database editor Stephen Rich. He spoke with 100 Days in Appalachia, Ashton Mara, about the reporting. I didn't know the Appalachian mountains, they run from fucking Virginia down to fucking Mississippi. I mean, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but that's a long ass, that's some territory right there, man. But yeah, these folks are over there popping opioids and shooting heroin. But again, you should have no sympathy at all, because again, these are the same folks that were criticizing Whitney Houston for her fucking crack problem. I mean, they were making jokes about Whitney Houston. Matter of fact, I heard, maybe not too long ago, her birthday came up. And it was on the radio, on the radio. They said Whitney Houston been sober for, They said 7 years or 6 years or whatever. And then it was basically a joke because she's been dead for 7 years or something, whatever. They said she's been dead for X amount of, they said she's been sober for X amount of years. And they're implying that, okay, she's dead, so that's the only reason why she's been able to be sober. So it's like these folks have no problem making a joke out of black folks' problems back in the 80s and 90s with crack. But when it comes to them and their crystal meth, them and their fucking opioids and fentanyl, you got to be compassionate. You got to want to invest in programs for them. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here. Let me finish reading this. 3 reporters at the Washington Post were responsible for the analysis. I read that. 2 newly released sets of government data show that the death toll from the nation's opioid crisis may finally be dropping, and also reveal the scale of the pain pill sales that help set the crisis in motion. The data for the Ohio Valley show how hard the region was hit and how hard people in these communities have been fighting to save lives. Fuck out of here. Look how they're painting this story, man, with these fucking druggies, man. They weren't doing this shit for... This is that double standard. I don't feel sorry for... This is why. Now, look, if they treated black folks the same way back in the 80s, then fine. I would be feeling this. I would be feeling sympathy, and I would be agreeing with them. But fuck that, man. Fuck these fools, man. These fools have a history of taking anything that negatively is affecting black men or women, in particular black men, and they will fucking use that as a way to demonize us or tarnish our image in front of in the public's eye. So black folks got to return the favor and be like the same thing. You got to have 2 sides of us with 2 different faces, but with the same end goal. You got to have the black folks that are going to smile in these white folks' face, smile in their face, say what they want to hear. But at the end of the day, you got a plan and the same end goal as the other black person. That's not going to smile in front of these white folks' face. That's not going to tell them what they're going to hear. Going to tell them the fucking truth. We all don't got to be all on the same fucking talking point. Nah, you got to have good cop. You got to have bad cop. All right, you're going to need your fucking Larry Elders. You need your fucking what's that other dude's name from fucking Mississippi? That fucking always kissing white people's ass, Jesse or some shit. You need those kind of black dudes. The only downside is that they're not working behind the scenes with a different agenda. See, the face they put on with them white folks is fine, but they should be fucking working behind the scenes, donating to a black group, donating to something that's going to benefit black folks. So you need those two faces. You got to be, because look, these white folks smile in your face. Okay, they pat you on the back, but then they fucking are planning on gentrifying your neighborhood and you don't even fucking know. So black folks got to be the same way. And we also got to have our own counter propaganda. When you got articles like this, expose this shit. Because they want you to think they're so pristine and they're so dainty and everything's good. No, fuck out of here. That's maybe about 1 or 2% of the white population. The rest of you motherfuckers are just average, everyday white crackers. Like maybe fucking 3 paychecks away from being white trash. So I don't fall for that shit that these motherfuckers are better. Alright, let me see. For some people that has meant new jobs or payments to. Now let's move on to some other shit, because I'm gonna find another article. Hold on. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, man. Shit, man. Black dudes gotta have their own counter narrative. Because these white Nazis, these identitarian pill popping, popping pussies, they take any negative story they can find about black men and they will fucking plaster it everywhere they can, and they will use it as a way to tarnish the image. So as black men, we gotta have that same strategy, man. When we come across articles like this, you come at them the same way they would come at you. No mercy, because at the end of the day, that's how these fools are coming at you. Give them what they give you. Let's hop into this. Alright, the rate of overdoses related to the use of licit and illicit opioids has drastically increased over the last decade in the United States. The epicenter has been West Virginia, with the highest rates of overdoses, accounting for 41.5 deaths per 100,000, or just, I don't know, I think it's 100,000 people among the 33,091 deaths in 2015. The purpose of this research was to examine and analyze the cause of the opioid epidemic and subsequent responses to it in the state of West Virginia. See how they're fucking putting all this energy and trying to figure out ways to fight this opioid crisis? But no, when it was the crack cocaine crisis, no, it was lock them up. Law and order. The fuck? Be consistent. Fucking crackers, be consistent. Alright, where was I at? I keep losing my train of thought, man, but you gotta fucking point this shit out. Alright, damn. Alright, I know where I was. The purpose. Alright, read that already. This study conducted a literature review using 37 references that were published between the years 2009 and 2018, completed with a semi-structured interview. The number of people injecting drugs has increased from 36% in 2005 to 54% in 2015. Damn. The total U.S. cost of prescription opioid abuse in 2011 has been estimated at $25 billion, and criminal justice system costs to $5.1 billion. The reasons for this opioid epidemic incident in West Virginia have been a combination of socioculture factors, a depressed economy, lack of education. Look at these excuses they're giving for this opioid. But it wasn't those excuses. Oh, shit. And a higher rate of prescribing and dispensing of prescription opioids. Fuck out of here, man. You fuckers love trying to make shit look pretty, man. They love this shit, man. But anytime one black guy does something fucked up or wrong or negative, somehow all of us are tainted and painted with this brush. And also I'm starting to realize is that in these major cities, the police departments basically are letting, in the jails, are letting known killers, known shooters out on the street. Usually when you catch a body, when you commit a murder, you're doing 25, no less, 25 to life. But these police departments, they got confidential informants. And they always fucking need a certain number of criminals left over in the black community to keep work and keep money going for the police. So the DA, the district attorney, the detectives, and the police departments in your major cities, Chicago, Baltimore, Philly, that fake shooting over there in Philly just recently, that was staged. He was an informant. Okay? He had a long ass record. So look, the state will do things to work against black folks. And they will do shit like release known drug dealers back into your neighborhood. Release known killers back into your neighborhood. The police know this guy's a fucking killer. They know the detectives know this guy's a killer. But they're intentionally putting these, and these are other black guys who look like me and you. So this is what we're up against. As black men, we are on a multi-front war. We got internal conflict with black guys that are working with these white racist cops that are being released on these streets. Because it's only a handful of black dudes in these major cities shooting shit up and killing people. But they are being released early, intentionally by the DA and detectives. Because they got to keep bodies dropping. It takes a certain man, it takes a certain person to kill. You just don't become a killer like that. So what they do is they know it's a lot easier just to have the same killer just recycle back into the streets. And that's why they be letting dudes go. Nipsey Hussle's killer. He already had bodies. He should not have been out of jail. But again, the police, the DA, and the detectives, they have to keep a certain number of black guys that are killers out on the streets as confidential informants. They have to. And this is what you get. You get drug dealers and you get that kind of shit. But this is just a side note on the bigger battle that black men have, because you got to fight these racist news outlets that perpetuate a negative image. You got to counter these twisted racist white Nazis, but you also got interior and internal enemies that look just like me and you, that are being released from jail, and that are working with the police to go back into black neighborhoods and cause chaos and dysfunction. But no, you don't get no sympathy for that. They want you to just push on through it. This is the same shit they do. They release fucking killers in your neighborhood to fucking get black folks to move and leave and disperse away, and then gentrification happens. Because when you have a bunch of crime in your neighborhood, motherfuckers are just going to leave. Same thing happens. I ain't even going to get into that. I gotta go. This shit's already long enough, man. What else am I missing, man? I'm missing some shit. I just wanted to point out also that they fucking criminalized addiction when it came to the crack era, but they won't do it with this. That's what bothered me. Like, they will fucking do everything in their power to fucking show you that black Americans are the face of crack cocaine, but they won't show you how they're going to treat white Americans the same way that they treated black Americans when it came to the crack era. But now it's the opioids, and they're not going to be hard on crime with these opioid poppers. But it is what it is, man. This is why I said, and I'm going to say it again, black men need our own media. I mean, because this type of stuff needs to be put out there, and you got to be able to counter the negative propaganda that's being circulated about black men. Once you get your own fucking media, I mean, well, first you need a think tank where you can just fucking brainstorm. A group of dudes just brainstorm different ideas and counterpoints and shit like that. And I'll fund some shit like that, but you gonna have to have some fucking counter alternative responses to the negative propaganda, because this is where black men lost the propaganda war. Negative propaganda, positive propaganda. Shit, we have hip hop. We could have used hip hop as our vehicle. That'll be one vehicle, while these other groups, they got multiple vehicles to spread their propaganda, to spread their fucking message. As black dudes, you gotta be organized and better organized, man, to counter the negative propaganda out there. But that's my video, man. I'm done.
Secret to war. Get your penny pads out, you little young ass motherfucker. Alright now, Fatal and Felony. You know what time it is. King corrupt. Put your hands on your hands on you. And hit y'all niggas up. Roll with a nigga now. Put your hands on your hands on you. Time to roll with a nigga now. Put your hands on your hands on you. Peep it, check it. My melody is music that's corrupt as a felony. Leaking weapon rebelling, so roll the niggas in hell of me. Like Charles Super Machiavelli, but secret to war, the art of combat. Bustle will never fail me. Now rule one, follow your enemies and people's weakness. Cast your bodies asleep and make the gang deeper. Rule two, locate is true and peep the things they do. Now get some infrared beams and raise some niggas too. Rule three, let's find a place where they rest their head. You jealous bastards make caskets out the comfy beds. Rule four, now peep the secret to war. I got surveillance on motherfuckers beware of my 44. Rule five, right before you bust his die, let you look inside my eyes, say your goodbye. Then rule six, witness the death of a trick. He was a coward from day one and died like a bitch. Plus, we handle business if you jealous niggas fuck with us. Secret to war, we plus if we must. Plus, we handle business if you jealous niggas fuck with us. I diffuse troops within the